Good evening. I am Professor James Moriarty. Welcome to the first screencast wherein I introduce you to my tool. Though it may strike some of you as something of a shock that I would go showing off my tool on YouTube this way, let me assure you that I will do my utmost to keep my modesty in check. And for those of you who have used my tool before, in some cases over and over and over again, I'm thinking in particular of one special someone. I do apologize in advance if some of the techniques I will be parading are already old hat. So hold on tight, but not too tight. And let's begin with new features. So here I am at Eloquy, and I'm going to load my tool. Now, the new feature you may notice here is that in the upper right-hand corner, there's this context window. I just want to point out that currently, if you were to, say, navigate somewhere else, the tool would behave as usual, where it would unload, and you wouldn't see it any longer, and you'd have to load it again by clicking on the bookmarklet again. The new feature, however, is that if you use this tool in the upper right-hand corner to navigate, you'll notice that the new page slid in the existing context. Now what that means is that if you navigate at this point, the tool will actually stay loaded, and this third entry will have a context. It'll have the title of the page you're on. If you notice, it changes every time I navigate. I'm going to go to a story, and you can see now that the name of the story is listed in that navigation. You might notice that there's two other entries that are not changing. I can always jump over to the intros and notice that I do not have to load the tool again. Everything loads automatically. I can jump back to the Mentor's Corner. For mentors, at least for me, I often find that I'm bouncing back and forth between reading or writing a story, having to jump over and do some maintenance in the Mentor's Corner, or I want to jump back to the intros to be able to, I don't know, take a look at a new application. I can do this all now without having to reload the tool over and over, and without having to worry about finding my place in a story that I was on. Notice also that you can hit Control Y or click here, and that will make this go away. And now, I'll make it come back for a second. You notice that there's Control key specifications near each one. You can actually navigate this entire thing just by using your keyboard. So I'm going to put it away because I don't like looking at it, and I'm going to jump back over to the intros by hitting Control I. I'm going to jump back over to the Mentor's Corner by hitting Control Q. And I'm going to jump back over to the story I was reading by hitting Control Z. So, to me, I found it to be a big advantage to not have to reload the tool over and over, and to have these special pages sort of bookmarked for me for all time. And that's the big feature. That's one of the big features that I've added to my tool this time around. There are some feature additions right here as well. Let's take a look. So this red thread actually isn't red. This is somebody who's a new applicant who doesn't have a Mentor's Corner thread, but we can use it as a good way to see some of the features. There's now a post to thread link in the case of each green and red entry, so that if you do not want to create a Mentor's Corner thread, but you do want to post from here, you can just click Post to Thread and have the option. And of course, if you right-click, you can load one of your templates. And if you hit Control M, you can manage your templates from anywhere. If you hit I and Post when you're going to create a Mentor's Corner thread, instead of loading your default intro message template, it'll default to the incomplete questionnaire template. And if you just put Post and you create the MC thread, it will default to your default introduction template that you find. Whoops, I didn't mean to hit Control New. I meant to hit Control M, Manage Templates. And this is, of course, the first Mentor Post applicant is the template I mean. If you jump into a thread, as before, as I said, the tool will automatically load with all of the detail that you come to expect from loading it in the page. And similarly, if you jump back out to the introductions, it'll all be loaded there as well. Green threads as well as red threads allow you to right-click to view the application in line so that you can read what you're going to do from here before you actually do it. And then since I'm showing a couple of the features off that many of you already know, I just want to jump back to the Mentor's Corner and jump into a particular application. Point out that we do have the feature that there's a summary across the top of the screen giving the information about this application. And well, you can also right-click to view that application in line so that you can vote after having read from right here. I happen to enjoy reading stories, and so I'm going to pop back over here and see the story as well. Alright, well that's good. Notice that even if I navigate away from the intros, in my intro context, when I hit Control-I again or click on intros, it will automatically reset this screen back to the intros, and so you never have to worry about losing your place. That about does it for this version of the James Moriarty's Tool Screencast. I hope you had a good time. I certainly did.